Welcome, viewers. If you're just joining us for the first time, please don't forget to click on subscribe. And if you're a returning viewer, I would like to say thank you for always staying up to date with us. So today you'll be wondering what is cooking in this pot. It is Kuka. That is baobab soup. Kuka is one of our most favorite soups here in northern Nigeria. And like I said, it has a lot of benefit. Though for those that are not Hausas or Northerners, it's not their favorite. I guess due to the color, it has a dark greenish color, which normally puts people off, especially for those that do not really know its value or how delicious it tastes. So, like I said, we're making miyan kuka today, and lest I forget, miyan kuka has a high content of not only the soup, the baobab leaves itself has a high content of vitamin C. It's also an antioxidant. It aids blood circulation and also lowers blood pressure, especially for its dry fruits. Because in this part of the world, people go as far as soaking the dry fruits overnight in water and drinking the water in the morning because, like I said, it is believed to help lower blood pressure. So I was supposed to start the video from the scratch, but well, let me confess, I almost forgot to do the video. So though we've not gone far, we have just boiled our proteins. Oops, sorry, the smoke, the steam, sorry. So in this pot, what we have in this pot is what we call kashi in Hausa, which is biscuit bones. As you can see, we have biscuit bones because it's one of our favorite in this baobab soup preparations. Then we also have the beef. As you can see, this is beef, we call it nama. And then we also have chunks of chicken in the soup, though it's minimal because we intend to use it just as a base for the soup. I think it's done. Let's look for it. So we're getting the chicken part little by little. We have them inside. I know some of us will be wondering, especially those that are not conversant with miyan kuka. I know some of us will be wondering what beans is doing inside the soup. Well, we add beans to miyan kuka to enhance the taste. It helps us enhance the taste and all that. So what we have in this soup now, like I said, is chicken parts, not much because it's supposed to serve as a base. Then we have the biscuit bones. Then we have the beef. Then of course we have beans, which is meant to enhance the taste of the soup, so we don't put much of the beans. Then of course onions. So like me, for example, I put everything together in a pot and boil them with my seasonings, pepper and all that, and then allow the whole thing to cook for a long while until it's tender. So we'll cover our pot and allow it to continue cooking, and we'll come back in like 15 minutes because it's been boiling for like the past 10 minutes. So let's give it under 15 to 20 minutes. When everything is tender, we'll come back and continue making the soup. Stay tuned. So it's 20 minutes and we're back to see the condition of our soup. Oops. Sorry. So our bones and meats are doing quite well. As you can see, they all look properly cooked. So at this stage, there is this very, very important seasoning that we add to every miyan kuka contains it. It's what we call daddawa. It's called locust in English, locust beans, and daddawa in Hausa. It's a very, very important seasoning of miyan kuka and a lot of other soups that we make here. Except for people who do not really like the daddawa, most of the times, like 99.99% of people that make miyan kuka and other indigenous soups add daddawa to it. So our daddawa has already been pounded, so it's now in powder form. You can see I'm adding it. This is what the daddawa looks like. So this is what the daddawa looks like. So we're adding. I really like the daddawa very well. In fact, most of my friends and even my sister always say that they know that one day I can end up adding the daddawa to tea, because I really love the daddawa. I love the aroma. Then of course we're going to add palm oil, though it's optional. So just a little. So that is that. We allow everything to mix together. I remember telling you people that I've already added all other things that I need to add, like the seasonings, the pepper and everything, right from the beginning. So I'll just allow it to cook some more so that it can absorb the new things we've added, that is the locust and the palm oil. Then we come back and make the soup proper. So I'm back to check on my soup, and wow, you need to perceive the aroma coming from this pot, really. And I think I need to add water, because I'm making soup for 15 people, so I think we really need a lot. So I think to add water. Then after adding water, I'll check and balance my seasonings. I'm sure most of you will be wondering why I have not been measuring, but the truth of the matter is this is a local soup. And if you're making it local delicacies, we local people do not measure. We just guess and add until our ancestors tell us to stop. Like my daughter, it is enough. Like something I saw on Instagram, when they say people don't measure salt, they just add it and add it and add until their ancestors tell them it's enough. So I think I'll have to balance my seasonings. Then of course, let me taste so that I can check and balance the seasonings, what to add. So I'm using a teaspoon to taste. We will have to add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of seasoning too. So here we go. A little bit of pepper and a little bit of seasonings. Then we stir and allow to boil for just a short while, since everything is properly cooked. And as soon as it boils, we'll come and make our Miyar Kuka. Who else loves the sound of a boiling soup? Really, I really like the sound. It gives you this sense of food is almost ready. So now that everything is well cooked, before we stir in our baobab powder, we'll have to remove all the proteins in it, the meat, the bones. This is chicken, so let me remove it. We're going to leave the chicken inside while we stir in the baobab, so that it will, we need it to serve as the base. So like I said, we're going to leave in the chicken parts. We're only going to bring out the bone and the beef. We'll bring everything out to make it easier for us to stir in the baobab leaves, baobab powder, sorry. So let's keep bringing things out. Like I said, the soup is meant for 15 people, so it's going to be much. And another thing, sometimes I use fish, smoked, either smoked, mostly smoked, as a base for my baobab soup. It's either chicken for me or smoked fish, but mostly I only use smoked fish when I'm making the soup only for myself or for my immediate family. But if I'm making the soup commercially, I prefer to use chicken as the base. Reason is not everyone likes fish, so the sight of fish alone or the aroma could easily put someone off, and we will not want that, do we? So You can see that the chicken pieces are well cooked. I'm returning them into the soup. I'm being careful to remove only the bones and the meat. This is the baobab powder we are about to stir into our boiling soup. You can see what it is like. We call it Kuka in Hausa language. So like I said earlier, it has high content of vitamin C. It's an antioxidant. It aids blood circulation and also reduces blood pressure. So it's really something one should learn to include in his diet. So we are about to stir in our baobab powder. Uma is helping me, my mom. She's helping me put in the baobab while I stir. So we keep stirring, we keep adding and stirring until we achieve a uniform consistency. Some like it thick, while some prefer it to be a bit not too watery but not too thick. For me, I prefer it thick, but because this is going to be commercial, not for me alone, I'm going to make it a bit lighter. So as you can see, we are done stirring in our baobab powder and we've gotten a fine and smooth consistency. So you see what I mean by making the chicken parts my base? You can see it finely scattered in the soup and the beans too. So it makes it looks nicer, and like I said, it also enhances the taste. It's now time to put in back to pour in back the meat, the beef and the bones that we brought out to give us a smooth stirring. You remember I told you we bring it out so that you stir in the meat and the biscuit bones, then you allow it to simmer for just like 2 or 3 minutes and your Miyar Kuka is ready. So we're going to make tuwo. Tuwo is served alongside the baobab soup. So we're going to start the processes of making the tuwo shortly. So don't go anywhere, stay with us. And I hope you're learning a lot, because that is the main aim of whatever we do on Haji Akairi TV, is to educate, enlighten, and of course entertain. So this is the corn flour, or you can choose to call it maize flour. It is what we're going to use in making the tuwo that will be served with the baobab soup. So to achieve this, you have to get your maize, then clean it very well by picking out the dirty ones, wash it thoroughly and sun dry it. When it's dried, then you, using a dry mill, then you grind it into fine powder like this one and then sieve it. So that is the processes that the corn had to pass through before we got this fine powder. So we're about to start making the tuwo now. You can see that I have a smooth mixture here. So in achieving the mixture, I had to mix the maize flour that I showed you earlier with water, just water, not warm or hot, just water. So I mixed it and I got this. So right now I'm boiling water. When the water is boiled, then I will add in this mixture into the boiling water. This was achieved by adding the mixture I showed you earlier into boiling water. So ever since I added it, I've been stirring. So I'm just to stir for a while, just to make sure it's uniformly mixed. Then I'm going to allow it to keep boiling. Because one thing about this maize flour is that you have to allow it to to you have to allow it to stay on fire for a very long time. If not, it spoils on time. So that is that. So this was achieved by pouring the mixture I showed you people earlier into boiling water. So I stirred it for a while, and I'm going to allow it to continue to boil for a while, because when it comes to maize, you're expected to allow it to boil for a very long time. If not, it spoils on time. The shelf life is reduced if you don't allow it boil for a long time. So this mixture is called telige in Hausa. That's what we call it. So let's wait for it to boil properly, then we come back and make the tuwo. Now that it has boiled properly, I fetched some out of it and kept it in a bowl. So I'm about to start making the tuwo. So I'm adding the corn flour. So you add and mix. If you do not achieve the consistency you want, you add again until you achieve a thick, smooth consistency. You can see that I have achieved exactly what I want. The consistency, the thickness is just what I wanted it to be. So now I'm going to add in, you remember I told you I fetched a little out of the what I call telige. So I'm going to add it to my tuwo so that I can make it softer. Though you can see that I did not add all. This is just to give it more time to cook properly. So I'm going to add it in 2 batches. You will agree with me that it is now softer and even well cooked more than the first time. So now I will add the second part of the telige that I reserved. But this time I will not stir it. I will just leave it. I'll divide it so that the telige can get to the bottom of the pot. Then I will cover it for at least 5 minutes. Then I'll come back and stir. This has been boiling for minutes. So I'll now stir in the liquid, the watery part of the tuwo, until everything becomes smooth and consistent. The idea behind this is to allow it to cook properly and also make it very, very soft. Because it's made of maize, it's better if it's softer because it gets stronger with time. So if you don't make it very, very soft, by the time it gets cooled, you might not like it. Now that I have achieved the desired consistency, I will remove the turning stick, cover the pot and lower the heat to the lowest level, and then allow it to sit on fire for like 10 more minutes. Because like I said, when it comes to tuwo masara, we want it to cook very well, because the longer it stays on fire, the longer it stays before spoilage. But if you don't allow it to cook properly, it spoils on time. I am back after 10 minutes and you can see that my tuwo is properly cooked. So all I just need to do is stir it a little more. You can see that the steam is too much that it's even blurring the camera. So I'll stir it a little more, then pack them in smaller portions in transparent polythene bags. So right now it could be served after packing with the soup, but because I intend to make a rechauffe out of it tomorrow morning, I'll just pack them and leave them to cool overnight. So by morning I'll cut them into smaller pieces, then put them in the same pot with the soup and warm them. It's our traditional delicacy known as the Dumamen. So it's just like warming the tuwo in the morning, because we really feel it's more delicious than the fresh one. So right now I'm going to pack my tuwo, like I said, in smaller portions in transparent polythene bags, and wait for morning. So good night. Thank you. So as you can see, I am done packing my tuwo. Like I said, I packed them in smaller portions in transparent polythene. So I'm going to leave it this way till morning. Then I will warm it together with the soup in the same pot. So let's see how it goes. So you can see the tuwo boiling inside the miyan kuka, the baobab soup. So this is what we call the Dumamen tuwo. You can see. So mostly we use it here for breakfast, and it goes down well with black tea. Those that know can relate. So this is how it is served. This is the Dumamen tuwo I was telling you about, which we call, like I said, it's tuwo that is made and allowed to sit overnight. Then it's in the morning it's cut into pieces, and then you warm them together with the soup. So this is the product. And like I said, in most of our Hausa homes, we prefer to take it alongside black tea. It's mostly the best combination for it. So I'm about to have breakfast. Who cares to join me? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click on subscribe. And if you're already an old subscriber, thanks for being there. Thank you very much. Bye.